For both of you guys, just give me guys your initial thoughts on this one tonight.
I think in the back end we got a little complacent, and it's. I'm glad it happened now rather than later down on the season. So it's things we got to work on. We just got to work on finishing, and there's critical moments that I think we just have to double down on, and over practice we'll get it fixed.
I agree with what he said. I just feel like on the offensive side, especially me, consistency was a big issue tonight. If we're able to fix that, I feel like it's going to be a good team.
When I asked Tony about your performance, he thought you played a lot better tonight than you did last week. So just do you feel that way? Just talk to me about how you feel personally about your performance tonight.
I thought I played better. Still a lot to learn from, a lot to fix, and a lot of growth to be made.
Parker, I think you started 6 for 8 passing, finished 9 for 22, and there was some flurries of passes at the end that kind of skewed the numbers there. Was there anything different that Liberty did in terms of bringing pressure or stuff in the back end that kind of made things harder for you in the second half and going on, or how'd that happen?
Yeah, they kind of just switched up the coverages a bit on us. The second half adjustments. That's about it. Yeah, a few more blitzes here and there.
Earlier in the week, Coach said that in order to win, you guys were going to have to play more of a balanced offense compared to last week. You guys doubled the amount of yards passing. So for you, just what do you like about the offense in week 2, seeing the tremendous amount of growth?
Yeah, I just felt like we had a good week of practice and thought it was going to translate in the game. We really did try to work on that balance, and thought it went pretty good, but there's still a lot to learn from for us. So we'll go into this week, work hard, and be ready for Fresno.
Buddha, defense played phenomenal, especially in that first half. You guys didn't allow a touchdown in that first half. That was the first time since 2022. So just how are you guys able to be so successful, especially facing Salter, who's a triple threat?
Well, he's a great player, but we have a lot of film on him. We've played him, and our coach has played him. So we have 2 different games that we can go back and watch. And I think that our coach did a great job of game planning of what we were going to do and how we were going to stop him. Like I said, he's a great player. So kind of making that game plan around him was it worked out great for us. And as everybody's seen the first half, we did a great job on defense, I believe.
And for you, you kind of touched on it on your opening statement about consistency, but in terms of gameplay, what was the drop off in the second half for you guys?
Like I said, I just think we got complacent. So, I think there's a lot to work on. I think we just got to work on being consistent and not getting complacent, in those critical moments. It's a somewhat new team, so I feel like, us coming together, this honestly helps, because this team hasn't seen that before, and I'm glad we've seen it at the beginning of the season so we can work on it here on and so forth.
I wanted to ask you just about how Liberty ran a lot more at the end of that game, because you guys limited a lot of those explosive running plays, and then they got a bunch of them towards the last few minutes of the game. I know you mentioned complacency, but Tony also mentioned that you guys may have just got gassed. What do you feel like it maybe was? Was it that complacency? Maybe they're just doing different stuff. What do you feel like happened that caused them to be so explosive?
I think it was a mixture of everything. You get in the crunch time of a game, and there's a lot of stuff on your mind. What can they do? What will they do? What will happen? There's a lot of pressure that kind of goes down into it. Like I said, it all just comes back to what we practice. We just got to get better in those moments, in those critical moments. Just practice that a little more.
And Parker, for you, the offense had a stretch, I think, through the second quarter and the second half where there were several punts in a row and you guys struggled to really move the ball. What do you feel like happened there that caused you guys to stagnate that much, and how much do you feel like that played a part in this game?
I felt like it played a huge part. If we got points there on any of those drives, it would have been a different game at the end. But I feel like it was just a loss of focus. A lot of it was on me. I'll take responsibility for that. But again, there's a lot to learn from there, and we will.
This is a question for both of you guys. Buddha, you mentioned the critical moments. Coach also mentioned those. Just from both sides of the ball, what do you guys think happened in those critical moments that allowed Liberty to execute them and you guys weren't able to?
I think it was as simple as one guy doing the wrong thing. It could be anything. It could be one guy being in the wrong gap, maybe a line 6 inches off of where they're supposed to be, maybe a bad call. There's a lot of things that can happen in critical moments that can lead to really huge plays, and I just think that we got to really tighten up on those small things,
Parker, I want to go back to something you said about consistency and you trying to establish stats and things like that. you had a little bit, you had a stretch on that last touchdown drive that you scored where you rolled out, found PJ for a big gain, then you found Cordell on the sideline. You were looking really good on that drive. Just what do you feel like happened there on that drive that needs to happen on the rest for you to establish that consistency that you want?
I feel like it's just about getting in a rhythm. We did a good job setting up plays on that drive and executing them. So it's just about getting in a rhythm and sticking with it all game.
Felt like coverage in the back end. I mean, it held Salter kind of in place, forced him out of the pocket, and then you guys were there to kind of stretch him out and make that play so he didn't run off the field and all that. How did you see him kind of, over those final two drives, kind of break that trend more or less and just kind of, break that overall?
I feel like over time you kind of got used to it, and that just means we got to play a little harder. You know what I mean? We can't just keep essentially like we can't stay the same pace. You know what I mean? When they amp it, we got to amp it as well. So I think we just, like I said, just got to do a better job of being in those critical moments and getting used to it.
Coach Sanchez said it was almost like, kind of ran out of gas at the end. Is that a kind of a feeling that you have?
I wouldn't say I really ran out of gas, but I would say that our defense just kind of slowly was I don't know, we slowly became unfocused. We were real comfortable through a majority of that game, and I think towards the end, it was unexpected, and I feel like we got to expect anything. So
For the both of you, just going into next week against Fresno, first road game, you guys both obviously want to rebound in that game. Just what do you feel like is going to be needed, or what was missing from tonight that you guys maybe need next week to beat Fresno?
I think juice. I think we just got to keep juice throughout the whole game. We were real juiced up in the first half, and I think we kind of came out in the second half a little. We kind of came out real even, yeah. And I think we just got to come out juiced and stay juiced.
I agree with that. I mean, I think it's about consistency, and we're executing well like we did in the first half. We got to be able to carry that in the second half, which is something we'll work in practice this week and be ready.